He was a man who stepped onto water, a man who dared to do what no ordinary man could do. He walked where no man could walk. He experienced moments of incredible faith, but he also experienced fear, failure, and doubt. His story is not perfect, but his story is one of the greatest reminders that even when our faith becomes weak, Jesus is still there to save us. His name was Peter. This is the extraordinary story of the unstoppable power of God. Peter was one of the 12 disciples. One night, Jesus told his disciples to get into a boat and go ahead of him to the other side of the sea. Jesus stayed behind to pray alone. As the disciples sailed, something unexpected happened. A strong wind began to blow, and the waves became rough. The disciples struggled against the storm for hours. The boat was being tossed by the waves, and they were far from land. Then, sometime during the night, something appeared in the distance. The disciples were so terrified. They thought they were seeing a ghost. They cried out in fear. But immediately, Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." When Peter heard Jesus' voice, he wanted to be certain. So Peter said, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus said one word, "Come." Peter climbed out of the boat, and something incredible happened. Peter began walking on the water towards Jesus. Imagine that. The same water that had terrified the disciples was now beneath Peter's feet. For a moment, Peter wasn't focused on the storm. He was focused on Jesus. But then Peter looked around. He noticed the strong wind. He saw the waves. And suddenly fear took over. Peter began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me. Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. Then Jesus said unto him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Jesus and Peter climbed into the boat, and as soon as they did, the wind stopped. The disciples were amazed. They bowed down before Jesus and said, "Truly, truly, you are the Son of God." Peter's story isn't simply about walking on water. It's about what happens when we take our eyes off Jesus. Peter was able to step out of the boat because he trusted Jesus' word. But when he started looking at the storm, instead of the one who called him, fear took over. Sometimes our lives feel exactly like the storm. We look at our problems, we look at our finances, we look at our future, we look at everything happening around us. And suddenly, our problems seem bigger than our faith. But remember Peter, Jesus was still there, even when Peter's faith became weak. Jesus didn't leave him to drown. The one who called you out of the boat is able to hold you when you begin to sink. If this story spoke to you, remember, don't focus on the storm, focus on Jesus Christ. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to do so. It really helps us continue providing you amazing videos like this.